Here's a Reddit post. Let's simplify how to get people to not quit after getting this gear. Instead, let's look at how do you get people to not quit WoW raiding? Is it your loot system? Would being more serious in raid help? Maybe the problem is outside of raid. It kinda is. Maybe there's nothing you can do. People quitting raiding is a sign of them not valuing the overall WoW experience enough to stick around and play World of Warcraft with your group. So your real problem likely exists outside of raid, and you have very little control over it, at least on a person by person basis. There's probably nothing you could do to get any one person to keep playing the game. There are a lot of really good reasons to not play WoW, especially Classic, and these obviously always matter. In my opinion, it's mostly the grinds and the scheduling. So you could think as far as the grinds, there's the stupid PvP stuff, world buffs, anything involving the goddamn economy. Holy shit, this game. And then for scheduling, you're gonna spend 2 hours a week minimum with logging on early for raid, getting there, doing the raid, pretty much regardless of what guild you're in, 2 hours on the low end, and then probably getting world buffs and blasted lands consumes, that kind of shit. That's another 2 hours on the low end. So you're looking at 4 hours a week committed time to play World of Warcraft, which at least two of those hours are just on the calendar constantly. You can't really move them around. And you can make all these types of problems a little easier on your guildies, but only a little bit. PvP grinds, if you have a strong community, it can make it so it sucks less, and perhaps that could be because people can farm honor quicker, and also it just literally sucks less to do the act of grinding honor when you're around people you like. Or world buffs, you can make those simpler in a lot of ways. You could have summoners set up, or you could have weird arrangements to help people get rend. Maybe even economy, like gold problems. They have minor solutions. All of them are terrible, though. You could farm ecos as a group, I guess, or you have a really high trust guild, people will lend each other gold, which can help people earn gold and also can just help with temporary problems. But as far as the time commitment part, better raids, they make it easier on people's schedules and on their mental, but it only does so much. Getting world buffs is always going to suck. You can confront these problems and you can make it a bit easier for people to keep playing the game with you, but these aren't really what get people to quit. And you can't actually get at the real problem. They just have better things to do than raid with you. The other thing, and that's the dominating factor here, is they have better things to spend their time on. Your loot system won't fix that. Better raids can only slightly help that. There's nothing you can do to keep any one person interested other than, just being good friends with them. But sometimes people quit the game and they come back. Or they quit your guild, maybe they get a new job or something, and they'll come back to your guild. Or they quit your guild and your game and they stay a steady friend of you and other people you raid with, and that's a win too. And even though you don't have a whole lot of real agency on if individual people keep playing the game, you do have a lot on if your guild as a whole is healthy, and there are lots of good reasons to try to tackle the small problems you do have control over. Like having your loot system be fair, reasonable, whatever you want to call it. Or having your raid performance be sufficient enough that everybody feels like their time's being respected by the guild and the other people in the group. That could mean a lot of things. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily make your raids better, although you probably should. And then there's the biggest factor of just trying and making your guild better over time, is that you're guaranteed to win if you do that, because what's going to end up happening is, remember, the big problem is just how much do people have outside the game that's competing with their attention? Or another way to look at it is, like, how much do they just love the fucking game? And over time, if you keep playing, You're going to just be surrounded with people who love the fucking game and for positive and negative reasons can't get themselves to stop playing it. You'll end up just surrounded by them. And you'll have less and less problems as time goes on. And I don't think this is just a survivorship bias type argument. I don't know if you've ever seen like the meme where it's like the fucking B-52 and it's a diagram of all the fucking places it took shrapnel and didn't fall. Like it's not just something like that where all the guilds that last a really long time that their GMs just figure it out and that's why they're around, is because they're like ran well in really odd ways. That's not all of it. Some of it is just that you have an unfair advantage of if you can get your group to last longer, you're gonna get more tied up with people who just love the game. So even if you're a stupid fucking asshole, your life will get easier over time. For sure, for sure. And all the guilds that I have ran over the years, it gets easier as you get more people. And the guilds I've been in over the years, I would say that the ones that were older, people were man, this sounds so weird. They're like more docile about stupid fuck ups that happen when it comes to the management of the guild and the management of the raid team. It's just it's natural. But I do think it's super funny that people post on Reddit about why there are problems in their guilds, and it's like they treat the idea of making a group or playing with a group of people like it's some kind of math problem that you can simply think about and just prescribe some kind of course of action and make everything work. And that's it's most likely to a lot of people watching this video, you think that's like really absurd, but that this is how most people look at the game and at guilds. I saw some suggestions. I don't know if you were reading that Reddit post at all, but people saying stuff like, you'll have less people quit playing the game and thereby quit raiding if you have a loot system where if they've done that to you before, they'll get less loot in the future. Most people who stop raiding with you are never coming back. Okay? Like, most people don't come back. Rather, they leave your guild or they just leave the game. So this is just a hilarious idea. Or that if you give people DKP, somebody's not going to want to quit because they got a lot of DKP. They don't want to waste their DKP. Like, come the fuck on, man. That's so silly. You ever seen somebody get a character full bist in GDKP and then quit? It'll happen with DKP too. The only currency anybody has is time, and people are willing to light that on fire. I mean, to play WoW even, you're kind of lighting your time on fire. I find it really... It's funny, though. It's cute. Seeing these stupid opinions on Reddit that people have about the game. Another one, I feel the same way with the unseriousness people will approach talking about raiding with, where they will say that you can be unserious about WoW raiding. Like, you can't be. It's a big part of why people quit the game. There are no people who raid WoW unseriously. There are people who raid WoW and I say with an unserious level of commitment, time-wise. Everybody's putting a lot of time into being a raider. Rather, you're in a shit group that doesn't get world buffs and wants to spend, I don't know, let's be generous here, only 75 minutes clearing MC. Or you're in a guild like mine where you spend 2 hours to do raid prep and then, you do MC in 30 minutes and do BWL in like 30, 40 minutes. And then you're still running around the dungeons. Either way, you're probably looking at around 4 hours a week, whether you want your raids to be fucked up or not. So like we're all like time committed to this game. So I find it's cute in a similar way. Like somebody will not get world buffs. They'll join a pug. It will take an hour for the pug to start. There'll be an MC 2 hours, and then loot will take like 30 minutes. So like they're like 3.5 hours a week into WoW. And then I'm like 3.5 hours a week into WoW, just that I spend most of my time outside the fucking raid, but still, tied to the game. And they'll be like, I'm a casual. I don't want to be one of these sweaty virgins that spends 45 hours a week raiding. It fucking cracks me up. Guild things are so very interesting to me, and I mean, since my channel's mostly about kind of weird, touchy-feely stuff with like running guilds and like math, a lot of the people in my guild have ran guilds before, and it's really funny how I feel like everybody has very similar experiences. At least in private, what people tell you about running guilds, I think, is very similar. In public, it's nice to, like, for example, if you were to go check out guides on YouTube about how to run a guild, there's a couple decent ones. I think Asmongold actually has the best. Probably because I don't think he actually thought it through very much and just said what he was thinking. But these are the kinds of things people will tell you. They'll be like, oh yeah, you got to be like a real leader of men type and type A, and that's gonna just magically fix everything. Or, oh, you gotta be strict with people, yeah, and then they'll follow the rules and listen to you. It's because they're worried you're gonna punish them or something. Like weird shit that maybe works in the real world when you can offer people money to get them to listen to you. But in the game world, everybody has got to think that doing what you want them to do makes a lot of sense for them every step of the way, and you don't have the advantage of being able to give them money to tip the scales in your favor, like if you were employing them. So anybody trying to talk about how there's like some weird equation can make it so that way your guild's going to work out, or at least that you're going to be happy with how it doesn't work out. That shit is bananas. Some funny things a funny thing I heard from one of my guildies was, and he was running a guild on Classic Era, and he makes a guild from scratch. And this is a common thing on Classic Era. This will sound very weird to you if you didn't play it at all. Yeah, make a guild from scratch. I'm gonna get some people. We're gonna do, I don't know, ZG. Yeah, it only takes like 20 people. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be a ZG guild. Then we're gonna do some Onyxia, and then I'm gonna start pugging. We're gonna get into those 40-mans. We're gonna do Molten Core, and then we're gonna fill a raid group of Molten Core. It's gonna be all guildies. And then we're going to start progressing in BWL. Because it's not like you progress in Molten Core. The second you go there, you full clear. And then, and I know it sounds crazy, we're going to progress in BWL. Fucking Lamau. But that's how it is on Era. That's how it is. There's a lot of people who don't know what they're fucking doing. They missed the boat. They came back. Now it's probably just kind of dead or filled with serious people. But this is how it was before Anniversary. So you're like, all right, I'm going to teach these chuckle fucks who didn't play in 2019 and have never done BWL. I'm going to teach them how to do BWL. And so you get in there and you show them how to do it. And then you clear it, and then you go to AQ, and it's the same thing. And then you go to Nax, and the whole way that this is going on, your guildies who are better, they realize, because Zera, that if they're going to stick in your guild, they're only going to stick in your guild because they like you and they like the guild, because your guild is a shitty fucking option raid-wise and time commitment-wise, because you're progressing in BWL with people who didn't fucking play in 2019. And there are other guilds all over the place that are doing our Nax clears or that are GDKPs or whatever else, and they are trying to get your members that are better at all times, but you're sticking with it. You're clearing these shitty fucking raids in shitty times with a ton of players that maybe they're great people, but most of them are shitty fucking players, and that's the reason you're there. And you'll keep up with it, and you'll get into Nax, and you'll full clear Nax this group that you started from the ground up. And then this is where the thing my friend said. And you're going to have some people that you just really get along with, and they're your high performers, and they're just there because they love your team, and they love playing with you and the people you found, and that's awesome. And that won't be most people. And with those other people that you're going to have a harder time making connection with, but you need them to show up to raid, you can try anything, and it's not going to work. A lot of times it's just not going to work, and it's just part of the process. You can try being their friend, and they already have friends, and they just want to raid with you. And so that won't work. You tried being their friend, it doesn't work. They're not interested. Not say they're bad people or you suck. They aren't interested, though. So maybe you're like, I'm going to be tougher on these people. I mean, to show them the fucking rules. They got to show up on time. They got to hit their buttons better. So I'm going to try being their enemy. I'm going to try being really strict. Tell them you have to fucking do these things. And I'm going to say negative things to them that some of them are true about how you fucked up in raid by not having this buff. And so you died and you couldn't do your job. And that fucked everybody. Or maybe you're going to be more mean. You're just telling them that they're a fucking retard. How do you not know how to do the mechanics? And that won't work either. And that's okay. It's okay. It's gonna feel like shit. It's not gonna feel fucking okay. To any of you guys right now that you have a new guild that you're putting together, and you have Night Slayer's best 35-man raid team, and you have to pug people every week, and you're SR, and people are fucking trying to pull you in every direction. But maybe you should HR this time. Maybe we should HR that time. Maybe we should go loot council, bro. How are we gonna go loot council? We don't fill the raid. And then that's not going to convince them to say, I don't know, maybe we should still be loot council. You could totally find some people that would come for no loot, right? And it's just everything's not going to work. No one thing's going to work. It's going to suck, and you're going to do it and figure it out and get crazy fucking stories about how running a guild was not worth it, and it's for fucking idiots. And then you're going to tell people about it all the time if you keep playing the game, because it is so worth it, because it's so fucking awesome. And I love talking to people who currently run guilds or used to run guilds and hearing them say the weird shit that happens, or they this is another one. And God, I love doing this myself so much. If I ever joined somebody else's guild, is you, from playing the game over years and running groups, you're gonna run into a lot of people that you understand really well, and that probably you're really, really good friends with. And you're gonna kind of know how they behave in certain groups and what they like doing. And then you're gonna get to introduce them to other people, which is fucking sick. So if you've ran groups for a while, you probably have some people that you know are just super ride or die, and you kind of understand what kind of raid group they want to be in. You can join other groups with them. You can show them off, and you feel I love this. My friends that I know are super high performers in raids, that I know just fucking love like meeting new people. It feels so fucking good to show them off to other people and get them to join another raid group with you. Like I'm playing on I've recently started playing Era as well on Alliance. Somebody in my guild, he's in a SR guild on Era, and they do pretty damn fucking fast Nax clears. Even if they were much slower, I'd still be interested, though. They just think it's fun to play with these people. And I'm getting some guys from my guild to come with us, and it's a real fun time. And there are people that are in my guild that they ran guilds 3 years ago, and then they'll be like, there's this guy, I fucking raided him for years, he's super good, he always showed up to raid, he's got a great personality, and they bring him around, then I get to become friends with them, and you just end up meeting tons and tons and tons of fucking awesome people if you do try to solve the tiny, shitty problems that don't matter in your guild, and you keep at it all the time, and you treat people well. There's so many things to win, and it's so fucking worth it. So if you're having a really hard time right now keeping your roster filled, and you've had some of your friends quit, and that feels bad, and you don't know what to do about it or how to feel differently, you've got to just suck it up, because you probably can't go watch a stupid fucking video and change your perspective on it, or you're going to feel, if you value the people and you value the loot in the raid, or at least the loot as far as how it affects your raid team, you're going to feel a little torn up when people quit the game, and maybe they quit with loot, and you're going to wonder naturally, just like, is this worth it? And obviously it takes a lot of time, and if it was so straightforward and easy to make a guild that's worth running, then you probably wouldn't have any interest in it anyways, because the only real, I don't know, there's not really any good reasons to have a lot of interest, I think, in trying to run a guild normally, because it takes years, I think, to figure it out for most people. Unless, I don't know, if you've managed people in person, like if you've fucking managed idiots on a construction site or at like a retail job, I bet you could run a guild really good, like right off the bat. But assuming you're like most of us who play World of Warcraft, you're some fucking depressed office worker that like is 31 years old and makes decent money but doesn't have a whole lot of hobbies out in the real world. Yeah, if that's like if that's you, it's gonna take you a fucking while to figure out how to do this guild stuff. So if you're in the middle of it right now, you got to keep at it, and you should totally hit up other people who run guilds, so that way you can bitch about stuff that frustrates you without potentially upsetting your guildies, because everybody Everybody thinks it. Everyone who runs guilds has like weird psychotic thoughts about it. And I don't know if you don't have weird psychotic thoughts about it and you run a guild, then maybe I'm just a crazy person. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you want to join a guild that's ran by a fucking crazy person, hit me up in Discord. It's Jakefromtree. We raid on Night Slayer, North America Alliance, and we have pretty good raid times. But if you join, it should be because you want to be friends with us, because even though the raids are fucking awesome, I don't want to upset you if they're not awesome in the future. Peace!